everybody. My name is Murat Fudimo, and welcome everybody to this webinar. This is the first one we're doing, where we're going to be hosting a couple colleagues from industry that will be showcasing some of the work they're doing. But before I go there, my name is Murat Fudimo. I'm a heart failure cardiologist at Duke, but I volunteer in two different functions in the American Heart Association. First of all, I'm the past chair of the Early Career Council for clinical cardiology, and the role that we are sort of representing today is that I'm also part of the Health Tech Advisory Group, which is hosting this event together with the AHA. What we do is we advise the American Heart Association around providing insights into industry trends, connecting them with interesting companies that are out there in the health tech environment. And this is a forum where we would like to not just showcase you what technologies are partnering, or companies are partnering with the American Heart Association, but actually provide you all, the listeners, the early career, advanced career volunteers that can be coming from all spectrums of cardiovascular medicine or neurovascular medicine, and connect you with this health tech advisory group in AHA to show you the opportunities to collaborate with companies, with the AHA. And we hope that you have some interest that you can bring forward to the health tech advisory group, to the AHA after this meeting. Please feel free to reach out to us. But I would like to start now by introducing two of our guests. We have Josef Safi-Harp, and we have Florian Strelzik, who is actually living is German, as we found out, but lives in North Carolina. Josef is in Rotterdam. So why don't you just, Josef, start off and just give us a super quick intro on what you do and where you hope that the American Heart Association and this advisory council maybe can help you all advance your mission, and you help the American Heart Association and our patients advance our mission.
Absolutely. Thank you so much also for having us. I really appreciate it. My name is Josef Safi-Harp. I'm the founder and CEO of Happitech. I've originally have a background in aerospace engineering. And I specialize in mechatronic sensor designs. And serendipity has it that I met some great cardiologists in the Netherlands. And we were at the same time having a same kind of mission to really develop something that will allow accessible, scalable cardiac care, independent of where you lived. And so we stumbled upon the smartphone, something everybody has. So what we've developed is a CE cleared, Australian approved, and soon to be FDA cleared solution where you put your finger on the camera for 90 seconds and detect AFib. And is now used in more than 50% of Dutch cardiology hospitals. So what do I hope out of this call today? So we've built, our success is largely attributed through our collaborations with the clinicians, with the hospitals, with the cardiologists, who've really shown us where to apply, what to do, what kind of clinical studies to run. And so we've really had a lot of success working together with cardiologists around the world. So we're looking to do the same. And so today we invite everybody to, if they want to try our technology, if they want to apply for grants together, if they want to do research together, just engaging in ways that we can support each other. So that's the goal.
Thank you. Florian, give us a little intro, and then we're going to go into Q&A.
Yeah, no worries. So my name is Florian Strelzik. I've been with the company since 2018. I'm now the CEO, and I'm actually a neuroscientist by training, changed to industry. And at Zeto here, what we are really doing is we want to unlock really the black box of the brain. Very often, I mean, EEG is not new. We do neurocritical assessment using EEG. That's not new. However, there's been so many hurdles and barriers to that in the past where you needed specialized personnel to set this up. At Zeto, we are providing a solution where really anybody can assess neurofunctioning, and you can use this in triaging situations. And if you really think about it, we can keep our lungs breathing, and with a lot of effort and like sometimes also the heart beating in certain situations. But then what's next? What really matters at the end of the day is, okay, neural function is still there. And for the longest time, this was the hardest thing to decide, and we meet a lot of providers that would really benefit from having this insight. So my hope today is to maybe inspire a little bit, thinking outside of the box of where could you use a product like this, and also find maybe some collaborators in further exploring where our tools could be used.
And so do you have it's a hardware or a software solution that you are talking
Oh,
about?
yeah. So for Zeto, we have a hard and software solution. And it's an FDA cleared device since 2018. We've recently come out with a device in 24 that is also specifically focused on critical applications. So set up within 5 minutes in more critical access situations. So use in ambulances, in EDs, and ICUs.
Yeah, now one of the strengths of the AHA is, of course, its base of a broad population of clinicians, non-clinician PhD scientists, therapists, and again, across the cardiovascular, neurovascular space. We have a number of councils that are sitting under the purview of the AHA. So where do you see barriers for companies that are, sort of earlier stages, but not that early? You operate products. It sounds like you're already on the clinical market. Where are you seeing the barriers in the US healthcare system, and what are the potential opportunities you see through engagement with the AHA? What makes the United States a bad market, and where can we in the AHA help, so to say?
I don't know if America is a bad market. I think it's the best market to launch an innovative medtech product. I think people are generally very open. A regulatory environment is favorable to innovators, at least in our space. And there's generally either there's funding or there is pressure to save costs. And that is always good for innovation. If you have an innovative product that does one of the other or both, then it's generally not as much of a structural problem. However, that said, you have very often you encounter traditional mindsets where you really have to change people's approach to whatever problem at hand. Now, bringing an EEG-based product to an AHA meetings like, hey, we're dealing with the heart. Why are you bringing a neuro product here? This, at the end of the day, I think can help achieve the ultimate outcome, and that's to improve patient outcome. So starting to change people's mind and reach across the different professions, I think that is maybe a little bit more of a challenge. And that's why collaborations like this and talks like this are really a good first step to bridge that divide.
Joseph, I have a question for you. So the ideal interactions, do you see them interactions with clinicians that are listening in, interactions with the scientists, collaboration with academic institutions? Like, what is the ideal takeaway or the multitude of takeaways for companies such as yours?
So I think impact can come from all corners. So independent on what kind of position or background. And and depending on what your agenda, I've prepared a few slides, and you never know where the best help can come from. So we've had a Holter technician come up with amazing ideas. We have, of course, electrocardiologists have played a big part, but we also had nurses because they see what's on the ground. And so the kind of feedback was very varied. And that's for today. I've prepared a few slides to see whoever resonates. They say, hey, I can do something with this. Because I can, obviously.
So why don't you pull them up?
Cool, I will. So let me just
make sure that you have the permission. And while you pull them up, Florian, I have a question for you. What is the value of a meeting such as the AHA, which I suspect you have attended before, versus virtual connections? Do you need that in-person contact, or is that's not what you're trying to get out of this?
100%. Very often, seeing is believing, and we're shifting an entire paradigm away from when we approach people and say, "Hey, we're dealing with EEG," we're automatically in a box like, "Oh, that takes long, it's messy, doesn't really help me." However, if you can shift and say, look, here's a thing you can set up within 5 minutes, anybody can do it. And here we have a diagnostics for you. And they see it and we put it on their head. And within a minute, they have that diagnostic. That is really changing people's minds. And that's best done in person.
Yeah, too bad that it's usually then occurring only in 1 or 2 meetings a year, I guess, that are maybe of relevance to you. So having this online presence would be very important, or the ability to reach out to people, off cycle with conferences. Which conference besides the main scientific meetings are you targeting as a company? In the AHA circuit, because you're familiar that the AHA has a number of meetings that they're putting up.
Is it
Florian.
a question for you, Steph, or for me?
Yes, towards you. No, it's for you, Florian. You aware of
Oh,
other
sorry.
meetings besides the main scientific meeting in November?
No. Honestly, I couldn't recite them. Sorry, I'm stumped with that.
No, but what I'm essentially is more of an infomercial, just as much as it is. Yeah, I'm not trying to quiz you, but we have the stroke conference, we have the hypertension conference, the basic scientific conference. So there's something also for companies, and that's what we try, I think, to show the richness of the American Heart Association, that many meetings, a lot of overlap with different target audiences each of those times. And this, I think, where we hopefully can help guide you, not necessarily us or the staff members on this call, but even all the curious innovators on the call, because they will have all of those insights and meeting opportunities beyond just that one big meeting, where sometimes technologies like yours can get lost very quickly next to that fancy big pharma booth, right? I'm fully aware of that. Yosef,
Yeah,
why don't you take it over?
The more practical, the better. I mean, we do embrace the academic sides also. I'm going to announce a few nice things for people that are really interested working with us. We have some collaboration programs that we'd love for you to look into. But yeah, the more practical, the quicker we can put something into application.
Yeah. So you're looking for hands-on people on and off
I'm looking
the
for hands-on people,
conferences.
yes, because they get the problems, and if you show
Doers.
them and they see it, they believe it.
Okay. All right, Yosef, you want to go through the slides?
Sure. Thank you so much. I'll keep it pretty to the point. So I'm going to end with this slide that has a QR code. So if you scan the QR code, we'll send you access to the app for you to try, and you can see if there's any collaboration efforts. So you'll see this QR code at the end of my presentation. So detecting heart rhythm disorders like AFib is like finding a needle in a haystack, and it's part of every cardiology practice. Now, the challenge that we're facing is that detecting AF has limitation in monitoring duration, cost, and accessibility. So you have a 12-lead ECG, which is done only in clinic. Patches are prescribed for anywhere from 24 up to 14 days. Implantable loop recorders are given to the high-risk patients only. And wearables are often in the elderly population, have a very low prevalence, or are out of pocket. So the gap is really an affordable, easy way and long-term monitoring solution for better AF detection. And we're using something that 86% of the world already has right in their pocket, the smartphone. Very simple. You put your finger on the camera for 90 seconds, and that's it. So it uses a technology called photoplethysmography, PPG, found in most wearable technology. As blood is pumping through your fingertips, expands the capillaries. We see the slight color changes. And in our CE, TGA, and soon to be FDA AI is able to detect this. Currently now in use in about 50% of Dutch cardiology hospitals. And really here again is accessibility, availability of the device compared to any of it. So use cases have been post-ablation, cardioversion, heart palpitation, in-hospital screening, population screening. So we did this really cool thing about screening in a hospital. We just put a poster up. 240 people found, and 4 new AF patients were directly referred to the cardiology department. And so we're also doing this screening project with the Dutch Heart Association with 320,000 people using just the phone. The ones that are positive will get a confirmatory ECG. And together with our partners, because of the access, really reached close to 1 million lives, including the one of my dad, who one day was supposed to watch our son. His heart rate, he sent me a measurement. His heart rate was 171. I sent it to our CMO, who told us call an ambulance. They came and stabilized him. And that's really the power of the technology. And these are just a few use cases I shared with you. And we've been mostly talking with electrophysiologists, really engaged with HRS and ERA. And we're now entering the new world of the AHA. So what our question is like, how would you use it? We've never interacted with general cardiologists to date. It's mostly been electrophysiologists or any of the EHA community. So with this QR code, and we'll drop also the link in the text afterwards, you can try the app. We'll send it, of course, free, and anybody who would like to try it. And if you have any research studies or upcoming grants application, we'd love to collaborate. So thank you for those few moments, and I welcome
Appreciate it.
also.
I'm pretty sure that presentations like this will spark a lot of interest. I think there's a question for both of you, and maybe we'll start with you, Josef, since you're up. What are concrete opportunities to collaborate? Do you have, companies in your stage? Do you dispense free device software technology? Do you have investigator supportive where you can actually propose to support studies, or you as a try to collaborate on grant applications together? Just give us a flavor of what people can expect when they contact you or both.
Yeah, so I have my own QR code to share. 1 second.
Well, while you bring up, you also can answer while you bring it up.
Yes, it's a good idea. Yeah.
Sure. We are not, we are not a big company, like you said, in the way that we can support. So what we have is we are developing customized clinical study programs that are including PPG. So if you want to do any PPG photoplethysmography kind of study, we've built custom solutions to hospitals like Mount Sinai, Tulane, across the world. We've developed research, Imperial, research studies that allows you to generate, evidence as well as grant applications.
All right, so collaboration grant applications. You don't have $1 million lying around to dispense to
But
institutions,
software. So those software, usually if you want to buy the research software, you can easily 2-3 grand. We provide it complimentary.
Okay. All right, Florian, what about you? What's concrete collaboration opportunities do the callers have with you?
I think most relevant for this call, if you conceptualize the technology, you see wearing a headband with a little handheld to the side, anywhere between transport, ED, ICU, anything where you needed critical application. What we have right now is already diagnostic for giving you a seizure burden. Basically, it gives you a seizure, no seizure diagnostics on the display really fast. Within the first 10 minutes, you have your answer. And what we see in possible applications, we are already established routine EEG. There's more non-critical long-term EEG. That's fine. Pharma clinical trials. So if you have something like that already well established, seizure, pseudo-seizure type of distinction we already have. Other things, we are actively looking for people to help us find these use cases, use machine learning AI to kind of come up with other diagnostics, or anything cardiac arrest, maybe during ECMO. I mean, really nice, because suddenly you know if what you invest in the patient is really still worth it or not. Stroke, poisoning, overdose, TBI is a really big topic. So for us, it's a call to action. Where else with neurocritical assessment, maybe close a gap, provide faster care, improve outcomes, save costs, increase efficiencies, things like that. And for that, we are now in the 3rd year offering clinical trial sponsorships where it's a very, very quick submission. It's a 2-page proposal submitted to us with a project description, why you think Zeto is needed for you. And we like to see projects generally close within 8 to 12 months. And you'll get free hardware, free software, up to 100 patient sets worth of electrodes, and of course full support. And you have us also sometimes co-develop certain accessories or algorithms to help your specific project. So we don't make this assessment. We have a panel of independent scientific and clinical advisors that make these assessments. It's now the 3rd year we're doing this, and we're generally having 3 to 4 winners a year. So this is a very, very quick way for you to get access to the technology, and we'll be there for you along the way, because we are as interested in finding out what you can do with this technology.
Well, I have 2 major takeaways. Takeaway number 1 is we need to highlight these things with more companies, because there's up to 40 companies that the AHA is collaborating with in a similar fashion like you all. And each of them brings a flavor to this. There's opportunities to advance research, advance your mission, our mission on behalf of patients, always under one roof of advancing healthcare in the United States and beyond. So I do think that will be an accelerator, and hopefully also engage the base of the AHA. As much myself, I'm a volunteer. I would love to get engaged in these projects. So it's learning number 1. We have to do more of this. with more companies, and B, clearly I'm missing the boat. I don't have QR codes in my presentations. I need to hang up and start making QR codes for my upcoming presentations tomorrow. Question for you. That the headband when you apply, I mean, I've seen my share of EEGs applied to patients in my ICU, but is this something you need to put the gel on it? Because that's the worst part of it when it catches in the hair.
No, this is exactly where we are very different. It's a very gentle type of application where we have flexible legs. It collapses. You kind of lie on a big surface, and the moment it touches the scalp, you have a good contact. That's really our IP. That's really where we're changing the entire paradigm away from the gel and the goop and the cleanup to, oh, I just need to contact with the
Clean up.
scalp.
They don't clean up. They walk away. I saw them. The
So
EEG
here,
text,
this one,
they just
you have these syncopation use tips, you toss them afterwards, set to go. They come replaceable electrode tips. So it's a very, very quick turnaround between patients also. It literally changes the paradigm of how to think about neurodiagnostics.
And so there's a very important comment made by by Animesh Tandon, children. Now, I'm an adult cardiologist, and I often forget about the other half of the population that we are serving. And obviously, here's your answer to do you have interest in doing this in children? As a matter of fact, that's probably where a lot of diagnostics are being done. The early and the very late in the life cycle of a human, right? So I guess the answer is yes, right?
Yes. And also the next question is how to deal with thick hair, braided hair, long hair, wavy hair, massive hair. No problem. So for us, the electrode tip reaches past the hair, touches the scalp, you're good to go. And it's actually a little bit easier with this technology because you do not have the goop and the gel that kind of interacts with the long, thick, braided hair or whatever. So we have really thought through that in a way that this is actually pretty straightforward for us. You would not be able to set up that quickly with a traditional headset, but for this was a 2-minute setup on for this setup on the left here.
No, that's amazing. I mean, what two great companies to showcase, EV solutions for very different fields where the AHA absolutely has an interest in it, not because we, want to help guide you all, but because at the end of the day, we are the ones who will have to, help implement this A, B, right guidelines around it. C, right? I mean, there's so many interactions that we have a common ground on. So I would like to thank you all. Unless there are any more questions, I'll start wrapping this slowly up. Do we have any more? I don't know if I'm a little bit ahead of time or not. Let's see. No more questions coming in. Do you have any questions for us? Maybe, I'm not representing the AHA here, but I can maybe ask this towards the audience if you have any questions. Florian, Josef.
I just dropped one in the comments, if you don't mind.
You did?
I'm AJ Rogers. I'm one of the electrophysiologists, Stanford. Nice to meet you both. Happy to have you here. This is great. I just can't help but notice there's 20 people on the call, and I think it's really helpful. And there's probably a ton of people out there that haven't heard of you or don't see this. Like, if there was a forum that AHA kind of put together, or a directory or something where you could post these opportunities, would you feel comfortable posting your pitch deck and getting kind of cold calls back from people? Maybe it could be something more like a competition where people could apply. And if every company kind of at least filled out a form that said, we have funds available, or we have software available, we have software, hardware, and timeframes, that kind of thing, maybe we could reach a bigger audience.
Like a dating website. What do I have to offer? What do you have to offer?
I will tell you, it's going to be a one-sided dating, because we're going to be the one that I've never, well, it's usually you're the one reminding, sending the follow-up emails, which is, I think is like how you say it? The way the world works, and I understand, because I think most doctors.
Hey, we're not Dutch. We're not Dutch. We're very eager. Americans are very eager to date, man.
Yeah, good. Yeah, this would be amazing. Yes, to have that. Happy to post these links wherever needed as a link or QR code. We'll find the right appropriate way, and happy to work with collaborators who have exciting ideas.
what's really maybe one idea that you, some inspiration, there's a accelerator called MedTech Innovator. I think Zeto is also a part of it. And basically you go through a whole selection process and there's a lot of vetting. What kind of science, what kind of clinical studies, what kind of evidence, and really having a sort of distilled list of companies that went through this makes it much more easy for the AHA network or physicians that are trying to choosing technologies. And so that's what MedTech Innovator, you have like an overview. This is their evidence. This is their claims. This is the thing, the value it can bring that it's really validated. And it's already in use by a few, good hospitals to kind of make it easier to try things out.
Yeah. So first of all, Dr. Rogers, great idea. We do showcase the companies we partner with, but to no extent what you propose, and this is a must. I think this is sort of the first attempt of doing this on an N of 2 level here. A, B, we of course have our health tech competition at AHA at the main sessions where we highlight a series of presentation in a Shark Tank style. But I do think that this is a rapidly developing space where we need to give you more time and space, and whether that's online and webinars. And the other thing is, this will be recorded. This will be played back. So, there might be only 20, 30 people on the call, but this will be shared more broadly. And I think this will be a ripple effect where once you recognize that there's opportunities to match quicker with quote unquote vetted companies, right? Because the AHA is behind it, then things will accelerate pretty quickly for everybody.
One other idea maybe is, I mean, I don't know how much time you guys spend doing this, but there's a push and a pull in the space, and I'm a big fan of like new tools. I think it's important to have to answer the right question at the right time. We haven't always been able to answer gene editing questions until we have a tool to edit genes. But you could kind of be like a hammer walking around the abstract, pavilion and just looking for the right nail. And there's probably some people out there that aren't going to be coming to the health tech innovations, but you could be the key to their next kind of follow-on study. So it's kind of a lot of work, but I don't know if like there's an easy way to make those matches for people and just say, here's your study, here's your research you're presenting, here's a tool that could get you to the next level. Like that might be a way to use the conference and like maybe even before the conference happens, set up a meeting.
Yeah, good. Seems like AI could help there, right? These are the tools, these are my questions, and then try to match something. I like this idea.
I mean, if I had like, there's a few health tech pavilion kind of events, and everybody kind of goes in with a bunch of meetings, and you might just miss the presentation. But if I knew one was going to happen that was relevant to me, then I'd put it on my agenda.
Yeah, to some degree, we need like an advisory, which the health tech advisory is really to some degree intended like this. If you have a study that is utilizing AHA dollars or AHA personnel, and say, listen, are there tools we can grab from our future-looking companies we're working with that we can utilize as a diagnostic tool, a therapeutic tool? That would be a good way to lean on us to do that as well, because we of course we have a lot of studies going on, and they can ask our councils to provide input as well. For example, if you have a question, something around congenital heart disease, well, then you go to the congenital heart disease group. If you have something around stroke, you go to the stroke group. So there's a lot of subspecialized knowledge where they will know exactly what study is going on, who are the key players, where the grants right now sitting. That I think that you on your end, Joseph, you said you have to do a lot of the chasing around. Yes, I mean you have to chase us around, but we will deliver on your requests to connect you with the people. That is easy. That is easy. Might not be always the best matches. You might have to date once or twice and say sorry, not again. But it's okay. We don't take it personal. Well, I think we're coming to an end. Unless there's Suresh, how did you convince as being non-clinician, how did you convince clinician? I don't know the question.
So
How do you
actually,
convince a clinician?
well, I don't think you convinced a clinician because they already made up their mind before. But we had developed a heart rate technology. So there was just when wearables came out, but very few people had access to wearables. So it was like, how can you scale a wearable? So we started with the phone, and we launched something that went viral, even you know, even Tim Cook talked about it at his keynote. And so it went viral, and the doctor saw us. And okay, here's the funny part. The cardiologist that ended up working with us, he he was having a soccer practice of his kids and met the creative director that we were working with, and he was saying, I want to do something new. I want to do digital health, and I have a AFib clinic, very large, and I see these problems. And it's like, hey, we know this company that's doing this. So they kind of put us one on one. We were just on heart rate, and then they moved us to heart rhythm, and it kind of was a match in heaven. So we had a good technology background. They brought the clinical background, and we went for it. And we are still working together to this day.
You have all those stories. By the way, is your father still allowed to babysit your kids?
Yeah. He's
Thank God.
you know, he lets my mom do most of the work though, but he loves like playing around and like hugging and stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, the match is everything. I mean, that's where you will never know where your technology will end up a year from now, and this will be the critical interactions. And it seems like it doesn't have to be always clinicians. You maybe probably have a better resonance with the non-clinicians that haven't made up their mind quite yet, but are interested in providing input.
yeah.
It's great. Okay. All right. Any other questions, team? Any comments from Denise and co, John, the organizers? By the way, shout out to the AHA group. There's a number of them on the call. They're the ones that run those councils and organize the thousands and thousands of volunteers such as myself, and set up this whole meeting, and hopefully more to come.
Yeah, I think quickly just saying thank you to all of you. This is, our first foray into this, and I think it's given us a lot of valuable insight, and we look forward to kind of responding to the request and the interest in doing more and being really specific, and perhaps going into the matchmaking business a little bit. That's what I hear the need is.
Yeah.
Denise
Health
Happy
tech,
to provide those
health
materials for everyone.
health tech Tinder. We swipe right and we swipe left. All right, thanks everybody. You have a good day. Reach out to those two gentlemen through the QR codes and start using QR codes in your presentations, I guess.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.